What's going on, world? Brand new episode of Open the Box there on your screen. I'm your host, George Kiel, and I'm here with my man, Jake of Soul by Style. Jake, what's going on, man?
Not much, George. What's going on?
Oh, everything's great, man. Now, we're here in Covington, Kentucky. Might as well say we're in Cincinnati,
right.
5 minutes up the road.
Yep.
One thing that sticks out to me off top is the cleanliness of the store. I think you have OCD.
Just a little bit, I would say. I think everything's got a place in the store. That's the lasting impression, is definitely the first. So when people come in here, we want them to get, the wow factor. Everything on the walls in order. It's got a place. It's by either brand or, retro number or, a Yeezy section. Everything's got its place in here. The most popular section here, we've got the Travises up here, and then down the line, some Off-Whites and some Fear of Gods. And then you'll come into just some miscellaneous Nikes. Of course, you got the Mars Yard overshoe here. These are crazy. The retro section here, you got the 1s, the 3s, 4s, 5s, all the way down to the 10. And we got a row of SBs down here. One of the hottest releases of the year, I would say, for SB was definitely the Para. And then you'll move over here to the Yeezy section. We almost have every Yeezy, you would want. In the window, we got some 1s, some miscellaneous, Air Forces. Then you got the Supreme Retro 14s there. And then over here, you kind of got just some random Adidases, some Vans, some Supreme Vans collabs that they've done. And then another, big section that I'll probably want to highlight is our Retro 1 section. We do just a wall of 1s. It's one of the most popular shoes. It's one of my favorites. So we definitely wanted to showcase, our good selection that we have here.
Now, for those who don't know, give me the backstory, because this wasn't always a shop, right? You started online. Tell me about the move from going just straight online to where you are right now.
As with everybody, I think it started as, a hobby and a way to kind of afford some of the clothes that they wanted, some of the sneakers that they wanted. My parents blessed me with a lot, but they wouldn't buy me every sneaker I wanted. So I had to find a way to accommodate that. So it was just kind of a hobby of mine. And then when, online marketplaces became a little bit bigger, sold on those. And I kind of just wanted to experiment, make my own site and kind of do that as an outlet. Sold online for about a year, partnered up with my dude Mitch, and we were able to bring it to life. We knew that there was a big enough following over here. The culture was good enough. Buy, sell, trade was also becoming a lot bigger over here.
Now tell me about how you and Mitch met. I know you guys bring two totally different things to the business.
I think it was my sophomore year at UC, and I was out with a friend. We were bar hopping on St. Patrick's Day, and he was like, yo, I want you to meet my buddy Mitch. So we went up to his apartment, and I walked into Mitch's apartment, and he had the Container Store shoe boxes from floor to ceiling, wall to wall, and I was just like, we need to talk. Our friendship grew, and when the time was right and we were both kind of finishing up school, I proposed the idea to him, and it's been that.
What do people shop for in Cincinnati? What do they come in here and get?
Yeah, so I think one of our biggest sellers is definitely Yeezys and Retro 1s. And we do really well with our Supreme. That's kind of what I started in, and what kind of got me into sneakers in general is back in high school, I started buying Supreme. I really focused on having the dopest Supreme collection or offering in Cincinnati. And I think we achieved that definitely from, stuff we buy, but our consigners also, provide a lot of stuff to us. Shout out to our consigners as well.
Kind of going back on the cleanliness and what we were talking about, the first thing I noticed when we first started talking is the logo. It's simple, clean, it reminds me of the shop.
Sure.
But how did that logo come about and the name itself?
Back when I used to do a lot of selling on eBay, my name was Soul Style 23. I was just kind of taking variations of that. It first started off like Soul X style. And then, when you see a 4x4 truck, how do you say it? 4x4,
right.
Instead of 4x4. So kind of was playing around with that. I liked how that sounded. So we ditched the X and decided to do the by because it was a little more, versatile as far as putting it to a logo and stuff like that. And then actually my old roommate hooked me up with one of his friends who was a graphic designer. Right. And he worked with me. We went through variations of logo. I showed him logos that I liked, super clean stuff. And we went through probably about 3 or 4 variations, and we ended up landing on that. So we got a little shop mascot. Rose, come here. So this is our famous little mascot here. When they see her face right up at the window, you know, they come in, say hi, you know, dog first, shoes after that. I've been working, you know, during the week and just someone has popped their head in and say, hey, is Rose here? And I'm like, nope, it's just Jake today. And they'll, you know, continue on their way. So she's got a little bit of a fan base going, but yeah, she's a great dog.
All right, Mitch, Jake told me how you guys met, bar hopping. I don't know how much he remembers from that, but you tell me your side.
Jake was on bar hopping. I was at home hanging out at the moment. So they came over, and when you walk in my front room, you could see my bedroom, and it's full of containers from the container store. That was really what started him coming over and hanging out and whatnot. And he started taking some pictures of some of my shoes, putting them on his website, so that helped me out, helped his site out. And then we realized we could do something way bigger than just a website.
How would you describe your role for Sold by Style?
I had a big collection, so that was a main thing of inventory. And then since really 2012, when I graduated high school, I've been going to sneaker conventions in Columbus, Indianapolis, some of the smaller ones, but you know, they're close. About 3 years ago, I started going to sneaker cons. Shout out to my dude, Wyatt. He was my buddy that went with me to all those. Some of our main co-signers when we started. To have all this awesome inventory were a lot of my friends that I met through the sneaker conventions.
Jake touched on a lot of the footwear in here and briefly touched on the awesome Supreme collection you guys have, but I want you to kind of walk us through some of the apparel that you guys service and, you know, kind of touch on this Supreme.
So apparel wise, I'd say some of our rarest stuff is the box logos all along the wall in this back area. The Supreme Louis Vuitton stuff, that's definitely our couple rarest pieces. And then in the case, we got almost every accessory, I feel like. These are our 3 most exclusive shoes down here. We got the Friends and Family Fragment editions. We got the Rust Pinks. Those actually came through here as well, and the guy found them in a storage unit with a bunch of other stuff. So they happened to be my size, and he didn't want them because he only collects original colorways. He was like, this shoe doesn't mean anything to me. He was an older guy. And then these are the Retro 4 Quays, one of 24 in the world, only 2 per size. I got those off of Gatesmark. Our Supreme t-shirts, this is one thing that I feel like we definitely kill it at. Like Jake had said, we didn't want to be just a sneaker store. We wanted to bring a lot of apparel to it. We do well with them, you know, they're not too expensive. We got all of them, we got a lot of sizes. Jake does well cooking Supreme. One of our other co-signers does really well with that. We got some of the Supreme North Face jackets. People looking for these now that it's getting colder out. And then on this rack right here, we got some Antisocial, Palace, Kith, Bape. We got a bunch of Cause t-shirts in right now from the recent drop. These are selling like hotcakes, so better come quick.
And then even some of your logo, Sold by Style branded apparel back here, right?
I enjoy these t-shirts a lot. They're comfortable, they're on Champion tees, which I feel like goes with a lot of the other stuff that we're selling. The hoodies are on Champion as well. Yeah, the hats, these are really nice, the 6 panels. I'm very fortunate that Jake is my partner because he takes care of a lot of the things that I'm not as precise with some of the stuff. He's got a good eye for the layout and how things should look.
Right. Well, Mitch, tell me about your collection actually before you kind of got linked with Jake here.
So I started, I feel like anybody else, waiting in line sometimes in high school on Saturdays getting some sneakers. Then I was like, well, if I get a couple pairs, I'll get mine for free. Then it turned into madness, is what my parents would probably call it. They grounded me actually for 2 weeks once for buying the white cement 4s. They said I didn't need any more shoes. But I bought them with my own money, so I was like, you know, what the heck. It's funny, I like telling that because now, you know, I got a shoe store. So. But yeah, Retro 4s were my main first like love, I would say. Then the ones, so like when Jake came over, I had doubles of any ones that had came out since 2012, just doubles of all of them. And then started collecting box logos, probably about 2014, 13, a little bit before everything went too much up in price. I'd say that was one of my good investments.
Mitch, tell everyone where they could find Sold by Style.
Instagram is our main platform. We keep up on that. Same with Facebook, Twitter. It's all Sold by Style. Our website is very well put together as well, soldbystyle.com. Everything you see on there is in store. It's very up to date.